you have responded, I still feel strong that I will be today accused that this is what you said, this is what they said, this is what you said, and so on. So I'm saying I still feel that it was the right decision.
You have 20 minutes.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Re ke tsaya nako e ke go leboge tona kgolo gore o tlhageletse mo pele ga komiti potlana e femeng.
Before you continue, we'll now need translation services, it appears. If we can, from there, I guess, can we check the microphone? Are you going to conduct your whole exercise in Setswana?
There and then.
If we can please get translation services. Premier, I suppose you are fine with Setswana. To the best of your ability, if you can respond in English, it would be appreciated. Of course, it's going to double the output time in terms of the translation services. So Tsolo's time will now take 40 minutes. But it won't be as it's the translation that will get additional. Can we get the
Let me take this opportunity, Honorable Premier, to thank you for your presence in honoring the invitation to the Ad Hoc Committee.
Mo nakong e fetileng ke tshotse nako go sekaseka papetlana ya gago e o e tlhagisitseng mo pele ga komiti ya maikano.
In the past, I took time to peruse the document or the report that you have brought in front of the committee regarding your oath.
Ntetla modulasetilo go bua Setswana mme ke kope gore tona kgolo a se ka kgotswa.
Allow me, Chairperson, to speak in Setswana and also ask the Premier not to be aggrieved or feel otherwise.
Before you continue, I made a mistake. The translation will be incorporated into your documents because the time is high. I wanted to record this.
When I looked at it, I realized that there's a lot of sacrilation in the committee.
Let me
stop bringing my apology to you again. You are casting aspersion on the members of the committee and the committee and its work. Now I want you to withdraw that statement that the committee seeks to undermine anybody.
No, Chair.
No, Chair. Oh, that you.
No, Chair.
That you sought to undermine the committee.
That's how I understand. Unless I'm wrong.
I want us to get the English version. What will you say on the because you are either I'm asking you to translate it to English.
Translator ke kopile gore ke buile gore ke ne ke bona lenyatso le lenyololo le le feteletseng ga ke ne ke lebeletse papetlana e re filweng ke tona kgolo mo pele ga rona jaaka komiti kwa potlana.
There was a lot of disrespect when I saw the report that I was given.
Then ke be ke re o re botsotsa dipotso jaaka komiti.
I also said he's asking us questions as the committee.
The Premier.
And
I asked the
Your time is stopped. Just exit. Your time is stopped.
Oh.
I sought clarity. Now, please ask for clarity before you make assumptions. I think we all need to understand that if you are going to attack the witness, I will have to defend the witness. Please proceed.
I never attacked the witness.
Yes.
I have placed facts in terms of the affidavit that I'm having in front of my good self
You can
to the Honorable Premier.
You have 60
And the Premier, if he is having a problem with that regard, he will have to come back to what I said.
No.
Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Chairperson can present. Please proceed.
Ke a leboga modulasetulo.
Thank you, Chairperson.
Ke nagana gore I was interrupted. Ebile ha ke sa tlhole ke itse gore ke tsamaya kae.
I think I was interrupted. I even don't even know where I am at.
Ka mafokonyana a hao o tla nkaraba ko bofelong mo go se nneng ke se bua mare gone go tletse dipotsolotso go komiti e go tswa mo go wena.
With those few words, you would answer me at the end, but I
Mme ke
have
batla
other
gore
questions for you.
mme ke batla gore gantsi ke tsamaile ka tsekana tse ka bonakonyana.
As I peruse through or run through the documents,
Ke ile ka nna ka ranolola sekgwa sa gago se se bokete.
I translated your difficult English.
Mara this is what I want to say to your good self as the Honorable Premier.
Ke se ke batlang go se go raya yaka o le tona
That your organization is in majority in the legislature when this decision was taken on the 16th September 2025.
There is if you can pause this Honorable William.
No, Chair. I'm just requesting that the interpreter must not interpret into six one. Because there's no one who requires interpretation of that.
Oh, I see. In terms of the request is that we only interpret from Setswana to English.
Yeah.
That's
What I said is that the majority of your organization is in majority. And you usually use majority votes, voting against certain decisions in the legislature. If indeed your organization was against this particular ad hoc committee, that is where on the 16th September 2025, they should have reneged or voted against the ad hoc committee. I'm saying this statement based on all the pages that I went through and perused. And as such, let me put it unto your good self again. Like they did during the Zuma era, they voted using their conscience. And therefore, the Northwest Provincial Legislature, including your members from your own organization, used their conscience to vote for or to agree in totality with the establishment of the ad hoc committee. Therefore, we cannot be blamed in as far as your document is concerned. I will come back to these pages page by page. Honorable Premier, noga ya magora e kotsi gonne e nna mo magoreng mangwe le mangwe e sa tlhophe marapo.
A leaf snake is very dangerous because it lives in every corner without choosing sides.
When I am dealing with these things in Khopotsa, the Supra must fall. Don't you remember that, Honorable Premier? Answer yes or no.
Is it still in line with the terms of the
No, I'm saying that when I'm dealing with these things, it reminded me of the Supra must fall. Now, yes. Now,
WhatsApp messages down there.
the Supra must fall. I can do that the Honorable Premier is in agreement with me. But leave it there, Honorable Premier. Let me run. Honorable Premier, unfortunately, some of us, we are from the Marxist scientific school of thought and shaped by class relations. It can't be correct that you are casting aspersions in this committee where some of us we are sitting. Further, Honorable Premier, ke batla go ra ke le re dudisa thankga go sa tlhokagale tadi ya Musa jaaka lekoko le o tswang ko go lone ka gore botlhe ba ba tlhageletseng mo pele ga rona ke ba lekoko la gago.
Further, I would like to say that you are putting us in a messy position in broad daylight with everyone else that was here.
Jaanong nna ke tlo go tshwanela ke
Organization, because they come from your organization.
jaanong nna ke tlo go tshwanela ke go go botsolotsa go tswa mo bopakeng jo bo filweng bo kwadilwe le ka molomo ke dipaki tse dingwe wena o sa ba amagela ka ga gago le kitso ya gago.
Now, I will have to ask you, based on the evidence of the witnesses who came here,
Mare
are
e
you
re
having imparted your knowledge regarding the matter?
motlotlegi modulasetilo e re pele ke tsena go dipotsong ke mo reye mafokonyana a matlhano fela.
Before I enter into the matter, let me just tell him 5 words.
Re motlotlegi Tonakgolo Re Mokgosi.
Honorable Premier, Mr. Mokosi,
Kgosi Thuthubulo e bonela matlakala.
a king carries all burdens of his nation.
A o dumelana le nna gape ga ke re ngaka ga e ke e tuma o ga bo yona.
Do you also agree with me when I say you do not become famous or respected much in your own hometown?
Ebile ngaka ga e nke e nna le tlotlo o ga bo yona.
And it also has no respect in his own hometown.
Ebile ga e le gore go na le mena kgatlhanong le wena.
And if there is a plot or a trap against you,
Ke gana gore jaaka makoko potlana
I deny that as the minority parties,
re bangwe ba le mena leo ka go nna karolo ya komiti e jaaka o setse o sa tswa go kaya mo papetlaneng ya gago.
I deny that as the minority parties, we are part of that plot or that trap by being part of this committee.
Mme gape ke batla go go raya ke re
I would also like to tell you that
itse gore ga mmogo le bone ba e leng gore ba ka tswa ba na le lemena leo nna ke sa le itseng
together with those who might have a trap,
moepa lemena wa bo a le ikepela.
the one who digs a grave for you, digs it for himself.
Ebile motswana wa lekgorokgoro a re mogo wa modimo wa bo a o ikgwela.
In ancient Setswana, those who curse others curse themselves.
Ebile motswana o tswelela a re moapa bodila wa bo a bo ikapela.
A person chooses their own path in life.
As we are choosing those paths, we have 9.5
Jaanong ke itse gore bana ba motho ba tle ba betsane ka noga e utlwa go tswa mo lekokong la gago le bana ba motho gompieno le betsana ka noga ya e utlwa le re tlisitseng fa.
You are siblings in your organization.
O bo re latofatsa ad hoc committee, ad hoc committee, ad hoc committee, ad hoc committee.
Then you accuse us as the ad hoc committee, yet you are siblings having a sibling rivalry in your organization.
Jaanong ke go botsong ya ntlha mo tlotlegi.
Let me then go to the first question, Honorable.
Do you agree that the WhatsApp from Mr. Thabo Apollos to your good self reveals a dramatic fallout? Am I correct?
It appears that there's a dramatic fallout. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Secondly, Honorable Premier, as I put unto you, do you agree with me that there is a political expediency and patronage in all this saga we are dealing with as the Ad Hoc Committee?
I fully agree that there are subtle intended political consequences of this exercise.
Tell this committee as to whether there was any discussion at the department or at the deployment committee and a resolve on the appointment, and whether there are minutes that are kept in as far as the outcomes of the deployment committee is concerned.
Strategic discussions on updating the organization on recruitments are not minuted.
Ah,
And such discussions did take place, and the municipality was advised that following their presentation, this process is flawed.
Thank you very much, Honorable Premier. During the Khanisa 2nd April 2023 Concordat, have you seen the draft report when documents that included qualifications were circulated amongst friends?
There was no draft report, Honorable Solo, in that discussion.
Okay, fine. The original draft is submitted to the acting chief director, the head of the department, Mr. Ben Bole, and later returned for quality assurance to date and today, unless the SC, through the legal team, has received such, is nowhere to be found to date. In your own perspective, no opinion, could you say that the document might be in the hands of those with intended adverse objectives? Ka Setswana ra re, "E medile maoto jaaka thokolosi ka lefitshwana."
In Setswana, we say that it has disappeared like a leprechaun in the dark.
I find it very difficult, Honorable Solo, as a former public servant and at that level of senior managers, based on the report before me, which report could have now been mentioned that is missing. Because in my view, the official report that we have here, it's a report that came from a collective discussion in the department, and it went to the chief director, then it went to the HOD, then it went to the NEC. The one referred to that it has gone missing. If it's the same document, or if there's another document, I'm not sure which one is that one. But I cannot account to departmental documents, the registry, the recording, the movement, and the archiving. So I don't work in that department. I can't comment on that.
Thank you, Honorable Premier. Based on the evidence that has been given by Mr. Moate, there was the so-called positive report that was developed by him, and the two witnesses also alluded to that. Mr. Krupp, who is the mayor of Naledi local municipality, and Mr. Sekhapo, who was the then MM of Naledi local municipality, were very much certain that the report is the correct one and is the one which was tempered, or the one where tampering had happened. State your own views nor perspective with such utterances or statements that were made before this ad hoc committee.
You know, I find it very strange, Honorable Solo, because the affidavit of Ntate Moate made no reference similar to what he came here and presented. That's number one. But that also is as a result of Mr. Sekhapo also coming here, praising Mr. Moate, how intelligent he is, how experienced he is as a very capable person. And that's the version that was brought in. But it's important also to understand that in government, and I think in any institution, if there is an assistant director for people who work in government here and he has to generate a report, if it goes to a director or a chief director and the chief director is not happy about the quality of it, it's not unusual that the HOD or the chief director will make comments on the submission and return it for correction. It's a normal process of generating reports until approval. But I can sense here that there is a view that once a junior official has made a submission, everybody up to the MEC must agree. If in the process you disagree on the quality and the content and even the context, and you return it for correction by the generator, it's interference or you have been influenced. And I think that's a wrong assumption of our government. And I suspect that it can't just only be government. It's in any organization. And that's why there is seniority. Because finally, the HOD, when he writes and signs, he takes responsibility of the document. And if he's not happy about the document, he will return it. That's how it works. So to suggest that on the basis of that, then there was tampering, it's incorrect.
Thank you very much, Honorable Premier. I'm tempted to ask this question based on your statement from your affidavit.
2.5 minutes.
Oh, why are you asking us, and you must be brief and concise so that you must not eat my 2 minutes? Why are you asking us as the Ad Hoc Committee as to whether we have residual powers to sit as a pseudo appeal court to determine what or which set before the court? Haven't you been listening to what this Ad Hoc Committee said in relation to the sub judice matters or issues before the court of law?
My point is still clear, Honorable Solo, that we are discussing a matter of appointment of the municipal manager of Naledi, a matter that was ventilated in court, and there are judgments around it.
The second question you asked us, whose political bidding is this Ad Hoc Committee established for? Let me state this so that you must maybe assist. Where I am sitting, nobody can buy me in this particular instance. My integrity and that of the organization comes first, including the minority parties that I'm representing here. Mare.
There's a point of order from the Democratic Alliance on the MKP. Please pass the mic.
Chairperson, I would like to caution that this committee was established by House resolution, of which all the members of this committee was part of that plenary, including the witness before us was present in that committee. The outcome followed the motivation of a joint committee between the Committee Finance and the Premier and COPTA, where it was recommended to the House to establish this committee. It would appear that the Honourable Tolo from the MKP is seeking to disavow her participation in the establishment of this committee and its processes during a period where we are engaging testimony from a witness. It is completely out of order when during that plenary, every member had an opportunity to rise and object to the recommendations of the joint portfolio committees and the matter before the House during plenary. I think it is out of order to disavow her participation, more especially that she is also representing here the Freedom Front Plus and Action SA. She's representative here not of NKP, but of minority parties represented in the Northwest Provincial Legislature. It's out of order. Thank you, Chair.
Order, Chair.
In terms of the rules, how do you call for order on top of an order on yourself? Please proceed. You have 1 minute left to conclude with what you are dealing with. The chairperson will rule on the order of
Honorable.
you only have 1 minute.
Honorable Chair, the latter speaker is really out of order, hence I alluded to the statement that I read from this affidavit.
I'm calling you to order.
Whose political bidding is this Ad Hoc Committee established for?
Ask the witness.
No, but the honorable member is very much out of order, that he's eating on my minutes, and I'm not supposed to respond to him.
Yes, the
And I was responding to the question as posed in the affidavit by the Honorable Premier of this province as the witness who is appearing here. And this question is here. And the DA should not come and play a double standard and mention NKP and minority parties. Yes, I am representing minority parties. Hence, I alluded to the fact that the highest bidder here, it cannot be the Wesisha party, neither the minority parties that I'm representing. What is the order all about? Can't be correct. When we speak and to say that Honorable Solodi disavow her participation from the Ad Hoc Committee, it's totally unacceptable. He should have listened to what I said. I took this statement raw as it is from the affidavit of the Premier. With due respect, Honorable Chair.
Time is now expired.
Expire yang ke ne ke batla go mmolella gore go na le pine e bitswang Honorable Premier jo bana ba motho ba lwana jwale rona ba kwa thoko re tlhare ga ba jana maro dintšwa tsa setsomi di jana maro. Now I'm told that I'm disavowing from the Ad Hoc Committee.
It's now the time of the democratic, and what is wrong with my mic?
Ke tla botsa ntshepesela ntsetse nako mbonke ke disney.
The Premier was just looking at you, so I want to stop the city also.
Ke na le 30 questions tsa ga Premier mo. Yo,
Thank you, Chairperson. Honorable Premier, at the time of this meeting in Khanisa, you were the Chief Whip of the Northwest Provincial Legislature. At the time, what was your delegated constituency by the ANC? Chairperson, I've asked the question. At the time while he was a member of the Northwest Provincial Legislature, serving as the Chief Whip, what was his delegated constituency by the ANC? His political area of responsibility?
I think it was Naledi, if I recall.
So you were the political head of Naledi at the time?
Yes, I think so. Yeah, I think.
You indicated in your testimony here that the deployment committee, of which you were the chairperson at the time, does not keep record of decision or meetings. How does that assist your organization, the African National Congress, by keeping track of decisions made?
Just want to say, is that question still relevant to the TOR? Because we're now asking about party political.
Yes, it is relevant because I will come to the testimony of Councillor Groep. It is relevant.
What is your question?
In his testimony today, the Premier indicated that the deployment committee, of which he was a chair during the period, did not keep record of its decisions or minutes of its meetings. My question is, how does the organization to which he belongs and subscribes keep record of those decisions for reference?
I want the witness to respond, but I'm trying to bring the question home. You are saying that it is relevant in respect of what Mr. Hope would have brought as evidence. The evidence, the earlier evidence of on similar question from the witness was that they serve as an advisory body. And that is it. I don't know. If you want to take it further, please bring it.
Well, you are right, Chairperson. I think it's at the discretion of the organization that we would not take minutes on an advisory structure.
Thank you. In the testimony that we have received from Councillor Groep, he indicated here that the decision of the deployment committee not to proceed with the recruitment process of Sekhapo was not communicated to them clearly in the negative.
I'm not sure what is clearly, but it was communicated.
So you contest that the testimony that we had received from Councillor Groep from the deployment committee was communicated in full.
In the same meeting, they were told and advised. It was not even postponed.
Okay, then how would you, in the instance where you maintain that no record or minutes are kept, but also in your testimony this morning indicated that you had recused yourself from the process, how would you then be party to the knowledge of that decision?
Recusal does not mean I was not in the meeting. I did not participate in the discussion nor chair the meeting.
Right. So if a judge recuses himself from proceedings, does the judge still participate in court proceedings?
I'm not a judge, so I'm not.
Okay, let me put it to you in this way. What does recusal mean to you?
It means not participate and not even chair, because I was the chair.
In the testimony, I think, of Mr. Apollos, he brought a motion before this committee that I had to recuse myself, which in its meaning meant that he had expected the chairperson or myself to remove myself from these proceedings, because that is the meaning of recusal. Do you agree?
No, I don't agree. I disagree, but if that is your understanding, it's fine.
When Ndate Montwedi, Honorable Montwedi, appeared before this committee, in his testimony he had indicated, and Honorable Montwedi is a member of Parliament for the Economic Freedom Fighters. In his testimony, he indicated that there is a relationship between yourself and him. Is that correct?
Yes, like many others, he is.
What is the relationship, the nature of the relationship?
I've known him politically. He was in the ANC, in the Youth League. So I've known him from that point of view.
And it is also true then that in the testimony that we have received, that conversations were had between yourself and Mr. Montwedi.
There was never a discussion between myself and Montwedi. I was even taking the SC on the WhatsApp that was mentioned here, that I don't understand, because I don't appear anywhere in a discussion that was indicated.
I think SC would correct me if I'm wrong, but I think in the testimony of Mr. Montwedi, he indicated that you regularly visited his house, and that at one particular time, he had found you in your vehicle outside his house, awaiting his return.
It's not true.
Do you think, as head of the deployment committee, as a member of good standing of the African National Congress, to the extent that Mr. Montwedi has testified here his interest in the appointment of a municipal manager in the Naledi local municipality, do you not think that, although we are from different political parties and we have cordial relations, and you as head of government here, from time to time, members from opposition parties would approach you on issues pertaining to service delivery, that may be the case. But in the testimony that we have received, it appears that there's a close relationship between yourself and Mr. Montpelli, as well as a clear interest in the administration of the Naledi local municipality. What would be your view?
Honorable Member, I think probably what we need to explain on the earlier question and the one that you are raising now. One day when I left the golf course of Freiburg, as I was crossing the road, I parked because I had to take a telephone call. And Mr. Mundwedi was coming into a house. He parked and he came. And I even asked him, are you visiting somebody? He then said, no, I'm staying here. I'm staying here. I want to come to your question that says, I was waiting for Mr. Mundwedi. Mr. Mundwedi used to stay 2 streets behind where I stay. I was not even sure, I was not even aware that he has relocated. Now I'm saying I did not go to his house to meet him. I went out of the golf course, I took a call, I didn't want to drive, at the same time talking on the phone, I parked on the side, he came, and he said, I have relocated long ago, now I'm staying here. That's point number one. So I didn't go to his house, which is I wanted to say is not true. Secondly, is that I know Mr. Mundwedi, just like I know other members who are here. And to suggest that he has interest in the local municipality, he's the one who can explain better because he came here and he explained his relationship with Groep in as far as how they relate even when they ask each other favors. He spoke to Sekhapo over a telephone, over their issues related to the court case. I was not there. Now, what wonders me is an inference based on me knowing him, and therefore I'm brought into that discussion when I was not even part of their telephonic discussion or whether there was an informal meeting or a formal meeting where this matter was discussed.
Thank you, Kenya. In the testimony that we have from Mr. Apollos, he indicated, or let me start here. Your written affidavit submitted here and received gives, in fact, the entire affidavit speaks to the legitimacy of this committee. And it fails, I would venture, almost in its entirety, to address the allegations made by all the affidavits that we have received here. We saw a similar thing with the affidavit submitted by Mr. Apollos. In fact, ours were deliberated, Chairperson, on the legitimacy of this committee by Mr. Apollos. And in your verbal testimony, we are dependent now, or on the questioning, we are dependent on your verbal testimony. Mr. Sekhapo came here, Mr. Sekhapo came here with a confirmatory affidavit. He did not submit an affidavit. We took exception and we said, you can't come and testify here without addressing the issues that were raised. To which he then had to submit an affidavit. My question is, were the allegations and the implications from, not from us as members, but from the testimony, Premier, that we have received here, right? Do you not feel that in hindsight, you should have addressed the allegations made? Because to my mind, just dismissing the allegations out of hand without interrogating them, even in the written form, is really placing you at a disadvantage here. because we have established in this committee that there was an intention, not us, the testimony has established, that there was an intentional meeting on the 2nd of April in Khanisa. And that you drove the individuals there. Now, it might be hearsay, but the allegations stand. Your testimony tells us that it was a meeting of friends. The testimony that we have received from Sejake, Matunzi, Mahiri, all the affidavits that we have received indicates that there was a clear intention to discuss the recruitment process in Naledi. So when you look at this evidence, how would you explain it? Because your written affidavit is not touching on it. Your verbal testimony here is dismissive. But we have testimony by name implicating you there. Your view.
I think my affidavit was clear, but let's correct that all the testimony that was provided here intentionally they have confirmed that the meeting was intended to discuss recruitment in Naledi. But I think you choose to agree only on Mr. Sejake's affidavit. But second is that I said to the SC, my initial stand and my submission was that in terms of the scope of the investigation, it has to do with tampering or attempted tampering. And until such is proved, either by way of documents that I must respond to, and I said when and how, and I said in my affidavit, to date, there is no such evidence that suggests that I must respond to tampering or attempted tampering. And I said in my previous submission, if I must give account of the entire process, acknowledging now that I'm talking about something that is not related to tampering, I'll do that if it's so wanted to give that side of the story. But I was still awaiting to say, can the committee provide me with such information?
Thank you, Premier. I want to go to that letter that was received, SD, if you can assist me, the one with the 31st, the date it was received on the 23rd, if you can pull that up. I think it's also what we are looking at, I think, is also interference, Honourable Premier. Even if we take your assertion that you went there to discuss, because they were having some internal problems within their work environment. Sejake is an official within the administration. Apollos is an official within the administration. And we know that there are administrative issues or processes to deal with the issue of intention of suspension. There's a Labour Relations Act that comes into play. You were a senior member, leader, out of your own testimony that day. You were under the impression that they were going to discuss in your testimony today, that they were going to discuss these issues. You dismissed the issue that the intention was to discuss the recruitment of the municipal manager, right? You also indicated in your testimony that there can't be any interference. The municipality has its own processes. When you were asked by the SC about why did you not report the documentations under the Disclosures Act, you rebound that question back to the municipality, that Sajake or whoever, Apollos, as municipal officials, would have to deal with this. But in your testimony, you say they were going to raise these administrative issues that they are facing in the municipality. If we follow that line, what would you have done if that was the topic of discussion? When you are not part of the municipality, either politically or administratively, how could you have assisted them in that regard if that was your understanding of the meeting?
Look, I said previously, and I still continue to say it, that these are friends. And if I cannot listen to anybody who speaks about his or her condition at a workplace because I'm a chief whip, then it's interference. I can tell you what you are saying is practically impossible. Even today, I can tell you that somebody called and say, I'm facing these challenges. So ordinarily, people will come to you, ask for advice, talk to you to say, I'm facing this challenge, what is your take, and so on. It happens. It's not even about these ones. So not to expect me to respond to a friend who has challenges because I'm a chief whip, and it means listening to a member and a friend and interfering. I don't think it's I think it's just an exaggeration of positions.
Right. At that meeting on the 2nd of April, documentation was taken out of an envelope. We have testimony that said you brought the envelope and the documents from Mr. Sajake. Fortunately, all the other individuals, fortunately or unfortunately, but for you, I think it might be fortunately, all the other participants in that meeting indicated that Sajake brought the documents. In your testimony, you confirm that Sajake brought the documents, and you reject the testimony that implicates you as bringing the documents. Is that correct?
Yes.
When you took your oath of office to uphold the laws of the Republic, having witnessed documents that from the testimony and from the allegations were obtained or intercepted, and that's a word that was used here also, under the Prevention of Corrupt Activities Act, PRECA, would you not, as a member who took an oath, also at that meeting, say that this, what is being discussed here, is irregular and that it should be reported? So we are dealing with two pieces of legislation, PRECA and the Disclosures Act, which you did not advise them. And then we have the testimony that implicates you participating in the discussion surrounding these documents. How would you inform this committee to consider the testimony surrounding this?
You know, Honorable Member, I find it very strange because, look, at that stage, as a typical example, Apollos was already in court, having filed, and if you can go to his file application, he has records of all the qualifications and certificates of applicants. So it's information that's up for public if you want to have it. Nothing secret. All what is secret is this anonymous letter. Now I'm saying, in that meeting, when this was taken out, when Apollos was told by his lawyers that this thing does not work, forget about that thing. It was not those documents were not mine. Now, I find it very strange that I should now have taken over a fight to now go to the police and open cases of people having information falsely. When in actual fact, in actual fact, even whistleblowers are allowed. Now, I'm saying if there's a disclaimer that this information comes from unknown people, then you want me to have taken it and then make it my responsibility because I'm a chief.
No, it's not me. It is the act that makes it your responsibility.
We have 5 minutes.
But I will leave it there. It's not me. It's the act, the provisions of that legislation puts the responsibility on any member of public who witnesses impropriety of any sort. We have established in this testimony, if you could scroll down, AC. Thank you. We have established the documents were received on the 27th. The draft report on the 31st. We heard testimony here yesterday that on the 31st these documents disappeared for an unknown period of time. The draft report here would recommend concurrence to the appointment. Your meeting was on the 2nd of April, 2023, is that correct? In Khamisa.
Yes.
Right. This document with the draft report was signed the 31st of March 2023. The 2nd of April, you had your meeting in Khamisa. What date was it? It's a Sunday, if I remember this. It's a Sunday you had your meeting. Mr. Mopulai signed the documents on the 3rd of April at 12:20. There is, and I'm not saying or accusing you of accessing the documents in any way. What we have established is that the documents, some way, was accessed, and that those documents could have been the same documents or copies of that documents that found its way to the meeting corroborated by all the witnesses on the 2nd of April that did take place, that acknowledged the documents discussed at that meeting. And then this was signed on the 3rd of April, the day after. And then it is my understanding from the 31st to the 3rd, the recommendation had changed from supporting the appointment to rejecting the appointment. And so that is why I bring it back to the question that is so important. We have, and you have rejected it. Sajake, in his testimony, said you produced the documents. Matunzi, Mahiri, and Apollos testified here that Sajake brought the documents. You, Honorable Premier, indicated that it was Sajake, so we have another. In that period, the documents were intercepted, either through COPTA or either through an engagement politically. And that is where this committee has to identify where it is. In your testimony, you reject that you solicited either through departmental officials, because in all the testimony, we don't have any implication of MEC Bonomoloi at the time during this process. We've heard the name of Dr. Bole, and we have the 3 officials, Mutle, Plaiki, Moate, and Matseki. Do you have a relationship with any of those individuals?
I don't even know them. I've never seen them in my life.
And to close, Chairperson, do you not, Premier, where you are in the scenario that I have sketched here, see the gap in that process?
Chairperson, I'm going to no, I'll ask for consult, but I want to just raise one point.
Brilliant.
Okay.
Before you, please keep.
Maybe let's keep it that way.
Keep your response with us. And you'll decide what to do with the response. Honorable Bill's time is just expired now. One is got 36 seconds. You decide what to do with that. We are forced to break for lunch for 20 minutes. May I request if you can then do the consultation in that time? Okay. Now I must ask, are you going to respond?
No, I'll respond when I come back. It's fine.
Okay.
For my 36 seconds?
Yeah.
You were,
No, you'll respond first.
Okay.
You've got 36 seconds to complete whatever.
I'll take his response. Thank you,
Now.
Chair. Thank you. I'll take my 36 seconds after the response.
All right. Shall we break for a quick? I want to ask these members if we can come back at 4:05 and get that response quickly and conclude, and then the EFF will have their 40 minutes, which takes us to the things. So that's only 20 minutes. If we can leave as quick as possible.
Ore pa ditshitse mare o sebaka se se kana le go nna go jang be re boela nna ke ganne